Good evening to the humans of Earth. All beings of Earth. How's everybody doing tonight? It's a late stream, but it's okay, guys. We're getting everything set up. And let's go ahead and get right into it. Transitioning in. My name is Seth. My friends call me Star, Starseed, whatever pleases you. It's all good. I don't care. I just want to go ahead and talk about a couple of things every night. On this channel, we are accelerating Earth's awakening process. Big part of doing that is to explain the cryptocurrency news and privacy news and just other things that help our species stay sovereign. So anybody that's out there that gets value out of these streams, you know I always appreciate it when you invite your friends, when you get this out further on the internet, because it's all about the message, baby. Let's spread the message. Staying sovereign. So with that, every night we come to you at usually 10 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock Universal Time. Tonight I am actually trying to run my setup on a new, just like on a new format. So that's kind of why it's a little bit late. And if this stream cuts short, no offense anybody, it's just that literally my whole computer crashed because I'm trying to put so much through it right now. But you know, regardless of that, we could definitely go ahead and get started. So I always like to end up getting started with just saying something that I'm grateful for. And I was in discussion and I was thinking about it, and something that I am grateful for is the fact that I get to express myself here on stream. I'm super grateful to be alive at a time where we have a pretty neutral internet still. And I'm super grateful to be able to have all the options of however the quality I want to stream it at. I can set up things like this spaceship for you guys. I can set up chat. I can set up the way I want it to look, how it starts, how it ends. And I'm just very grateful to have the freedom on that. And what I'm really getting at is that I'm grateful that streaming doesn't have regulations. I'm very grateful that, you know, I'm able to do this right now, because there will be some people that, even if they don't see it right now, they will see it in the future and get value out of this. So, you know, bless that and bless that moment, because we are very powerful people. And to be alive at this time and to take advantage of the tools that we have right in front of us, in our pockets, in our hands most of the day, to take full advantage of these devices can really help us remain sovereign in our full expression of who we are and what we want to share with the planet. So this is what I like sharing with the planet. I like talking about sovereignty. I like talking about your privacy, how you can stay awake, how you can make sure that other people aren't trying to inflict their willpower over yours. And that's basically where it starts happening. So that's what I'm grateful for. That's kind of what we're doing here. And let's go ahead and get into the news. So bring up the news dashboard. Give me the sounds. Perfect. All right. So now the news is up, and we can see what we got today. What do we got for the news? February 6th, it seems Bitcoinist.com put out this article today that says Australia's major banks confirm they won't ban buying Bitcoin. Some of Australia's biggest banks confirmed they won't prevent customers from buying and selling Bitcoin with credit cards, unlike some of their counterparts in the UK and the US. So no restrictions. Following a different approach from Lloyd's Banking Group, remember I reported on that last night, guys, JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citigroup, I reported on all of these guys. Australia's biggest banks currently have no plans to bar their customers from buying and selling Bitcoin with credit and debit cards. So they say, quote, National Australia Bank spokesperson says, ASIC advises that most of the virtual currency exchange platforms are generally not regulated. Customers may not be protected or have any legal recourse if the platform fails or is hacked. We take protection of our customers' information and accounts extremely seriously to reduce the risk of our customers, and to help protect their money. Some card transactions may not be processed. Meanwhile, a spokesperson from Westpac Bank put it more simply, stating, we currently have no restrictions on credit card use to purchase cryptocurrency. So that's beautiful, and it's actually quite a different tone than what we have seen some of the other countries in the world start to admit. So this is great. And in fact, Australia, you get a huge thumbs up from Sovereign Starseed tonight. Thank you so much for not trying to put any restrictions on this. And it's my prediction that we will see Australia start to be flooded with new types of commerce, new types of customers, just because, you know, looking at it simply, it's easier to open up an account over here in Australia and pay for things with cryptocurrency because that's what I like, rather than over here in the US. Or in Russia, or in China, or in South Korea, or all these other places where they're banning it, or they're not banning it, but they have so many rules for you to follow. You better either have a degree, or you better have the money to pay for people to tell you how to spend your own cryptocurrency now. That's how it is now, family. It hasn't always been like this. Mind you, I've used cryptocurrencies for over 7 years now. And just in the last 12 months have I had to start hearing about all these other people wanting to come in and tell me and tell other people that have been using this how we should be using it. When we've been using it for years without any rules, thank you very much. So I just want you guys to see that, and Australia seems to be following that script. They seem to have the confidence in our species to not they have confidence in the humans to make sure that we are able to do what we want to do with our money without having to have the banks tell us what to do with our money. So I think that's beautiful. Meanwhile, you see other places like JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Citigroup. These three companies clearly think we're weak. They think that we can't spend our own money without them needing to step in and protect us. They have to. They want to stay relevant. So they have to step in and say, hey, we have to tell you how to use your money because terrorism. And you're like, can you explain a little bit further? And they're like, just terrorism. Just remember that, okay? Terrorism. And you're like, I'm not buying it. They're like, okay, you're not buying it? Money laundering. And you're like, can you explain more? And they go, yeah, all these terrorists and all these criminals, they use cryptocurrency to end up sending all their drug money through the world. And that's how the world is still getting their drugs. And we can't have that. So also, I want you guys to know that that's entirely false, because I've reported multiple times in the past where some of the biggest banks and regulators in the UK and other parts of the world have actually done research on how much money laundering and how much terrorism is going through cryptocurrencies. And one night I was able to calculate it and report that it actually came down to 0.61% of transactions that were monitored were actually found to be illicit. Fascinating, right? So it seems as though that everybody's lying to you if they're trying to tell you that this is being used for terrorist activity or money laundering activity. And you could go through my previous streams and you could see the articles on where I've gotten this information from the reports of people putting their whole company on the line saying, actually, cryptocurrency is really safe and terrorists don't like cryptocurrency because it can be tracked easier than fiat dollars. Just want you guys to see that, and I just want you guys to know that Australia is definitely on my good list for making sure that they don't put a lot of regulations and restrictions on our species. Next, Bitcoinist.com puts out this article that says T-Mobile is getting sued for not stopping cryptocurrency theft. Telecoms firm T-Mobile found itself on the end of a lawsuit this weekend after a customer accused them of allowing hackers into his wireless account. The security breach resulted in the theft of cryptocurrency to the sum of thousands of dollars. It was reported that Carlos Tapang of Washington State, and my apologies if I butcher any of these names during this stream, no disrespect is meant. So, of Washington State blamed T-Mobile for having lax security, which resulted in the hack and resultant theft. The suit states that the company improperly allowed wrongdoers to access his wireless account in November last year. So, basically he's suing, and he's trying to end up saying that T-Mobile is responsible for it. You know, there's definitely different ways that we could see this, guys. There's always a double-edged sword, and I want all of the students of this channel to remember that there's good and bad in everything that we read here. I also want us to remember, for anybody that's watching this for the first time and is starting to tune into these streams, that everything that I'm reporting on here, I report with an air of consideration, but not belief. Meaning that I consider this news, but I don't believe this news to be considered fact. And I also want everybody to remember that even though I'm reading these articles, I also remember that all of this is propaganda. So everything is trying to push one agenda or another. And I like to read these things to you guys so that way we can try to make sure we're making a sovereign decision and not being influenced by any one agenda or another. So from this, My personal opinion of this is that, you know, it's sad that Carlos wants to blame T-Mobile for allowing people to get into his wireless account to access his crypto funds. I was with T-Mobile during this time. What I could say is that, you know, if you're just smart about your passwords and you're smart about the things that you have going on with your accounts, you're not going to be giving any other company the room to give you a fault, to allow your funds to be jeopardized. So what I would just say here is, you know, let's all learn from this guy, from Carlos, and let's try to make sure that our cryptocurrencies are stored in very safe and secure locations. Also, remember last night that I reported that all Trezor wallets are now vulnerable to a hack that cannot be solved by software. It has to be solved by hardware. So just want you guys to remember that. And, you know, look online, do some research onto what types of security you want to take with your cryptocurrencies. 1 second.